Hello! I am here to tell you today that there is no wrong way to play tabletop RPGs. I feel like I should speak about this because I'm having some really bad health time right now. And also, all of my electronics are also kind of collapsing. So I do things that entertain me, and sometimes people get really irrationally angry at this. So I really wish that YouTube somehow had like a tag that just says not professionally made content for fun in order for me to avoid such unhappiness. But because we can't have that, I am here to alleviate your anxiety about sitting down and playing a tabletop RPG. So if you don't know what Matt Mercer is, Matt Mercer is a voice actor that leads D&D games for Critical Role. Here is he in all of his glory, and he is a wonderful person and they produce wonderful content. That being said, the content that they produce is professionally made with professional voice actors that, at the very least, loosely discuss what they're gonna be achieving in the session that day, even though it is not scripted. But you have to remember that this is professional people in a studio playing professionally. This is not an example of your average day Joe. So when people have those standards, it is really odd to actually post any content online. And it is even worse when people with these standards actually show up in your games. So to talk about me playing tabletop RPGs without addressing this topic right now, I did so quite a lot over the past, I want to say 4 or 5 years, and all the groups that I played with were with friends, and they were of various successes, various different structures. I even played in a group that was so loose that we practically had no story string whatsoever. The world just existed and we decided what we want to do in it. It was so loose that I think we ended up running an inn for 3 to 4 sessions. And you see, that was a perfectly fine thing to do because a tabletop RPG is not really defined by forcing people through a specific narrative or by making people encounter lots of combat or anything like that. It is defined by having a group of players come together to play inside a world. And what this kind of playing entails is completely up to the group. The storyteller can do voices or the storyteller can do no voices. Everybody can be 100% serious or everybody can be very chatty and have a lot of off-topic chatter inside the group. The only thing that matters is that you and your group is having fun, because effectively this is your night. This is your night out with your friends doing the things that you like to do. It's when somebody comes in and goes, "Oh, you're playing a tabletop RPG wrong," that is the equivalent of saying you're playing Monopoly wrong. You know, everybody's just gonna turn and look at you and go, "What? Are you part of this group? What is your problem? Why are you complaining? Why are you acting as if you paid money to be here?" And different strokes for different folks. There are groups that will want to be very professional and that will want to be very voice acty and that will want to play very much according to the rules, and there's no homebrew and everybody has to go through a story. But that is not all groups. So if you're sitting there going, "I can't play a tabletop because I am not a voice actor," or "my equipment is not fantastic," or "I'm not too familiar with this world," no, you can still play. It's a game. You can still play. It's very sad to see when people are taking it so seriously just because a couple of professionally made channels made this popular, and now everybody's trying to keep themselves up to that bar and they can't. And if you're gonna try and keep yourself up to that bar and you can't, all you're gonna have is a bad time. You're gonna have a lot of anxiety. You're gonna enjoy the session a lot less than you could have enjoyed if you just took it what it was meant to be. It was meant to be a game. It was meant to be something that you get together with a group of friends to roleplay. And role-playing is this non-defining thing. It can literally be anything that you want to be, including role-playing yourself. If you don't want to play a role, and if you instead want to be like, how would I react in this setting, in this game, that is perfectly fine, because you know what? It does not concern absolutely anybody outside of your group. It does not. It is you and your friends playing a game, and somehow a whole bunch of people started taking this very, very seriously. Which once again brings me to, I wish that there was a casual tag on YouTube and on Roll20 when you're dictating what kind of game you want to start. Well, to be fair, on Roll20 miscommunication is a lot less because, well, people do write-ups and people do read write-ups about what kind of game this is supposed to be, what are they allowing, not allowing, and yada yada. So a lot of groups, when they are collecting themselves a group, they will collect a group that are kind of on the same page for as things go. But when I post a video of me and my friends doing what we do in role-playing games, to receive a comment that effectively states that this is not a professional game, you just go, where have I miscommunicated? Where have I set this expectation up that this was supposed to be a professional game? Or to receive criticism of, you are not doing enough to please me. You're not doing enough to entertain me. You're not doing enough to make this entertaining for me. Well, you're not part of the group. I am simply posting my group's content on the internet. I don't remember making a promise that this was gonna be a professional game with a studio, with professional equipment, or without deviations from the story. This was gonna be me and my buddos do what we do, the same way that all the gaming on this channel has been. I mean, look at my Let's Plays. You can't really say that I am a professional Let's Player. I'm like far behind that bar. I mean, look at all these people doing like 20-30 hours of editing on their videos, something that I do not do because I no longer have the health or the time to do so. Look at these people having far better quality mics than me, having better lighting than me, which I do not have because I do not have the money for it. I am still allowed to post content and enjoy doing things online. So when people have this like weird bar of expectations, specifically for tabletop role-playing games, I have to ask, what Kool-Aid are you drinking? And why? It is literally the same as a group of friendos gathering to play Monopoly and you later on stumbling on their video and going, this does not meet my expectation of Monopoly playing. Well, that's nice, you're not in our group. What is wrong with you? And this sat on my brain for so long. I can read the whole comment if you like, because I just kept on running it through my head going, was this person just upset that I was having a lot of fun? Was this... What makes you come in and shit on other people's parade? Are you really that sad? So you know what? This is about the end of the video. If you wanna switch off here, all I wanted to tell you is that there is no wrong way of playing. Do not put yourself up to the level of expectations. Do not put yourself up to this kind of pedestal. It is fine. Not all groups function like this. different groups for different folks. It's perfectly okay. If you want to try a tabletop role-playing game, do so. You don't need to do voices. You don't need to speak in the first person. You don't even need to play a role. You can play yourself inside a world that was built to you by your storyteller, and the world does not even necessarily need to have plot. You can be an innkeeper. You can be a graveyard shift worker. You can be a policeman. Heck, there are role-playing games, there are role-playing servers in games such as GTA where people literally pretend to just live a different life than they're living. Maybe you're not a medical professional in your real world, but you want to role-play a medical professional inside a fantasy setting, and that is perfectly fine. There are groups like that. You don't need to have this huge shebang with your traditional roleplay experience where you are absolutely defining yourself as a character that's completely different from yourself, that is going through a strict narrative where you never break into off-topic chatter or off-topic jokes or off-topic laughter. If you can do that, perfect. You can apply for these professional settings even, but if that is not the quality that you as a person are able to ever produce, that does not mean that you cannot play a tabletop game or that you have no right of posting it online. You should never hold yourself to that expectation because you will just be very stressed out. This is a game. You shouldn't be stressed out over something that you are doing for your own entertainment. It's okay. It is completely and 100% fine. If you wanna see my group's shenanigans, it's 7 hours of it. Holy Jesus Christ, I was so dead after Friday. I am gonna link the video in the description down below, but do remember that it is literally 5 Joe Schmoes gathering up together to have some fun. That was all it was, and that is all that it's gonna be. Every Friday when we gather up to have some fun. I can't promise you anything else because this isn't supposed to be anything else. If you want to switch off the video, now is the time to do it. Otherwise, Myrta is now gonna go into a rant of reading one very specific comment that was hanging on her brain for the past 2 days because she was too dead to literally do anything. So it just occupied a lot of her brain space. Either play 3rd edition or V5, minus the Vogue parts, but V20, no matter how much homebrew, is just a no-go. We're talking about Vampire the Masquerade over here. V20 works for my group. It has a lot of lore, it has a lot of choices, and it has a lot of different classes that you can make work. It has a system that is a lot more complicated than other systems, but honestly, you can just homebrew it as you wish. That's why I title my videos as V20 Homebrew. It works for us, so why do you care? Why do you care? Storyteller seems quite unprepared in general and didn't even give out basic information. So, I mean, you played an episode 0, right? If we played an episode 0, it would have been on YouTube because, well, I am just recording our sessions as they go. So no, this is our episode 0. We don't do off-screen playing in order to do on-screen playing. Like, what the fuck? Why would that even be an expectation? If you wanted a more low-tech setting, you should have chosen the early 2000s, as nobody sounds like they actually lived during the 90s. At least the sound quality is fitting the era you play in. Rip my ears. Look, if you want to gift me and my friends better microphones, if you want to shill out like $1,000 to send us all better equipment, I will gladly accept. Please do. Please come into my room and soundproof it. For it's something that we haven't done, and hence the echo, and this microphone picks it up really, really well. If you want to get me better lighting equipment, please do. If you want to send us all webcams and want to get them green screens and a recording booth for all, oh my god, that would be amazing. Thank you so much. But if you're not gonna do that, then what can I do? I ain't made out of money, I am living wage to wage. I am super tired, honestly. I overwork myself. My life is more about work than it is about anything else. As for nobody has lived in the 90s, a lot of the group has, but it's like 30 years ago. People will have wonky memory about things that have happened 30 years ago, and if we set up a game in 1930s, none of us lived in 1930s, none of us lived in 1950s. Doesn't mean that we can't use it as a setting. Nobody has lived in medieval times. You know? That also doesn't mean that we have to sit there and vigorously research what was 90s and what wasn't. At one point, one of our players had a brain fart and forgot that there used to be phone books inside of phone booths. Which was a funny moment, because some other character in character had to remind them of that. And they were like, oh my god, I am so stupid. Another player at one point asked if there were taxis that time, and it's like, yeah, bro, there were cars in the 90s. But people have these kind of brain farts, and that is completely fine. None of us took it personally. None of us got upset over it. You apparently did. You apparently did. The person that's not even in my group. Way too much off-topic talk. Okay. Way too much off-topic talk in your Monopoly game over there. How dare you? How dare you have fun? Stop having fun right now. I expect this. And nothing else. Ever. And actually, Critical Role also has quite a lot of off-topic talk in their videos, and they're about the highest production that you can get, so, you know. As much as you hyped up the embrace of another player, it was quite disappointing. I wasn't actively trying to hype it up, I accidentally hyped it up because I was hype about it, so I kept on, like, dropping hints on it on Twitter going, oh my god, that's so cute. I am gonna have a player who I will have to teach the world inside the world. And this is gonna be an ongoing dynamic between us. I find that amazing. I find that cute. I find that exciting because I will effectively be training a player that doesn't know anything about the setting in real world through their character asking me questions inside the game. That is quite a lot of fun, honestly. So I got excited about it. And apparently you expected some sort of grandiose event, which it wasn't. So I am very sorry about sharing my excitement for something that I'm still excited about. My excitement never went away. I am so sorry that yours never arrived there. 47 minutes in till the first roll of the game. Well, yes, we played through the introduction of our characters through 3 different scenes, one of which decided to do absolutely nothing and just like go to Elysium far earlier than they should have. The second one asked one street away from the Elysium, he stopped and he asked the Primogen about where the Elysium is, despite the fact that his character has been there multiple times, and the Primogen kind of reacted with, you must be kidding, right? Like, you must be joking. And for my character, the introduction was the fact that she lost self-control and she embraced a person that was working in her shop for the past few years because she was like, it's gonna be a lot harder to find replacement for this guy than it is to just keep him around. You know what? Fuck it, I'll try this thing. What were we supposed to roll for? A roll for keeping balance while walking on the sidewalk? Like every 15 feet, just like, roll for balance, please. It's like, what are we? Do we have like some sort of inner ear issue that we can't like keep steady and walk down the path? Role-playing games is just about, it's just as much about role-playing as it is about rolling for things, and we did roll a lot of things during the session because the storyteller even said, I want you guys to get used to rolling. So we did. It was a lot of fun, but at the same time, this isn't meant to be just like dice porn. I'm not recording dice porn because if you want that, then you could may as well watch FIFA card opening pack videos. Or actually, do you want me to do a video for you of just dice board? Well, I just like angle my camera down and I roll 10 dice and I go, oh, 10, 9, 8, 8, 1. Oh no, the RNG screwed me all over again. It is a measured thing. You could have sessions with no dice rolls taking place because people are engaged in role-playing. You don't need to roll for every single little thing. Or you can have sessions where people don't want to do as much role-playing. They want to do a lot of dice roll, and then you would have a session with a lot more dice roll. Different strokes for different folks. Thank you! I really needed to get off this chest and to get the comment out of my head so that it stops living there rent-free. I hope that I have inferred what I wanted to say with this video fairly well, because my videos aren't scripted. They are Myrta babbling about the thing that is on her mind at that point that she's kind of upset about. This is all that this channel is. I don't have time for anything else. I am so sorry. Like, if I had the health, if I had the money, if I had the time, and to all the people that go, if you only put out better quality, you would get more money, and therefore you would make more money. Well, thank you very much. I am overworked and probably dying of heart disease. I am not gonna press myself harder than I'm pressing myself because I will expire a lot sooner. I'd rather live. Honestly, I'd rather stay alive. Thank you for watching. See you on my other rants. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And tata.